Hi guys, I am Jamie and I did my research for our culturally responsive library in a fourth grade classroom. I was in Miss Mitchell's class at Dove Mountain STEM School, and that's in Tucson, Arizona. So let's go ahead and get on into it. So in terms of gender, my randomly selected 50 books from Miss Mitchell's library had 19 female characters, 15 male, no non-binary, and 23 non-human. In terms of main characters, we had 21 female, 15 male, 0 non-binary, and 15 non-human. In terms of included races, we had 5 African American, 2 Asian, 4 Latinx, 2 Native, 18 white, and 19 non-human. In terms of main character, there were 5 Black, 2 Asian, 4 Latinx, 2 Native, 18 white, and 19 non-binary. For the setting, we had 17 rural, 15 urban, 18 suburban, and nothing in the desert, which is interesting because Tucson is in the desert, so you would think there would be more books representing that. In terms of disability, sexual orientation, family structure, language, economic diversity, and religion, we see the numbers start to shift and they're not as even as they were previously. We see that there's very little representation of families that have main characters that are gay, lesbian, or bisexual, and there's not much mention of religious practices. There's very few that address poverty or characters with disability, but we do see a lot of non-traditional families and a use of something other than English. So these are the books that were in our library. The teacher that I was borrowing from, I didn't tell her exactly what the assignment was. I just told her that I needed 50 books selected from random from her library. And afterwards she was like, oh no, I have more that have to do with those ideas or those concepts or better illustrate those ideas of inclusion and diversity. And I was like, nope, you have to do the ones that you already gave me. So these are our 50 truly randomly selected books from her library. There's the second grouping of them. Alrighty, so the 4 that I wanted to talk about are on this page. So in the top left-hand corner is Just Ask, and this one deals with students with different abilities and them working together in order to create a garden. And I think this one just really highlights how everybody is special and unique. And I think this is a great way to utilize both windows and doors in windows and mirrors, sorry, within a classroom to just assist children in their reading. In this bottom left-hand corner, we have We Are Water Protectors, and this one talks about an Indigenous girl and her fight to stop pipelines that go through her native land. So that's it's a really good window for students who maybe don't have that kind of background. This one in the top right-hand corner is called Say Something, and this one does a great job of bringing a bunch of ethnicities together and having a voice within the classroom and speaking about what you're passionate about. And then this bottom one is The Last Stop on Market Street. This is one of the few that represented an African-American background. So I thought that one was a really good utilization of both a window and a mirror. So in terms of Miss Mitchell's fourth grade class, I just gathered my information from her, and there were a handful of questions in there that she wasn't sure about, so we made our best educated guess, but we didn't want to make any students or families uncomfortable. So yeah, her classroom is predominantly male. There's no students who identify as non-binary or transgender, and she did not know of any family members from her students that identified that way. The vast majority of the class is white. There is a little bit of a representation of Asian, Latin, and African American students, but there are no Middle Eastern or Native American students in her classroom. None of the students identified as gay, lesbian, or bisexual. There are a few that have disabilities, and there are some families that come from a different demographic compared to the nuclear family. All of the students did speak English. She only knew of a few students who were Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't really discuss religious things within the classroom, so there's a small percentage that she knows of, but that may not be completely accurate since in public schools you're not supposed to discuss that as much. And then all of her students live in a suburban area. So in terms of books that I think we could add to the library that create better windows and mirrors, the first one is going to be Julian is a Mermaid by Jessica Love. And this one talks about a little boy and how he loves mermaids and swimming and dressing up with a towel around his waist to play mermaids, essentially. And I think this is a really great window or door for all students, depending on where they're at, to show that being different or having different interests outside of typical gender norms is okay. And there weren't any representations of non-binary students within Miss Mitchell's library. So I think this one would have been a really good addition. My next one is Like the Moon Loves the Sky by Hannah Khan. And I thought this one made a very good window as well because she does not have any Middle Eastern students. So this brings another culture and an idea of inclusivity within the classroom. This one has a lot of parallel writing to the Quran. And so I thought that was a really great thing for students to learn about. And I liked the message of how much our parents and our loved ones care for us. This last one is called The Three Little Javelinas by Susan Lowell, and I was surprised within the classroom that there wasn't any literature that represented the setting of their own school. So this book takes place in the desert. It's a retelling of the three little pigs and the big bad wolf, but it's kind of switched. So instead of little piggies, they're javelinas, and instead of a wolf, it's a coyote. And I thought this was a great mirror for students since they live in the desert and folklore might be a little bit different. So I thought that was a nice mirror for her students in particular. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys. So thank you. And yeah, we'll see you later.